Hi, in this tutorial I want to talk a little bit about setting up custom buttons inside your map UI, and where you will do this is in the blueprint called game map, or the the widget blueprint. And so when you open up your game map, you'll see here that we have these little icons, and if you remember from the overview, if you click on these, they will transport you to another level in the game. And I'll just briefly go over how this works. This is, go back here, this is just an image. This is essentially just an image. You bring that down from your palette here, bring that in. Now you'll notice that it's wrapped in a button, and there's a reason for that. The reason that it's wrapped in a button is because you can set that button to be called when it's clicked. So if we come back into the graph here, you'll see that on clicked button 2. This is a very simple example, and what it does is it's just opening up a new level, and it's calling level 02. So I have a level in the downloadable content that's just called level 2, and that immediately opens it up. So for instance, if we come back into the game map again, go back into the designer tab, if we look at button level 3 in the downloadable content, as you remember in the overview video, the first one posted, you transport to this level and your character's here. So I have not hooked this up, but I'm going to show you how simple this is. Let's just pretend for a moment that you've duplicated this button here, and this one you need to activate. All you need to do is drop this image in, you'll right click, and you'll wrap that with a button. Let's see, with a button, and then you will say over here, you'll say on clicked, you'll add that in there, that immediately pops up. And let's say, for instance, when you clicked on that button, you wanted it to go to level 3. So you hook that up and change this to level 3, and save and compile that, and all of a sudden you have another button that's just taking you to level 3. In this case, I've decided that this is really where you, the developer, will come in, and you'll decide, well, what kind of interaction do I want in my game map? And I've just put in an example of going to another level. You may have, far more creative ideas that you want to employ, but this is essentially where you will implement it. The other thing is, you'll notice here that these buttons are all scaled, and the button area is slightly bigger than the actual icon. That's pretty much it. This is really the area where you're going to want to customize it. Oh yes, there is one more thing. This is a little bit of a tricky area here. Remember the save game object where it's saying, okay, I can see, level, let's just say level 2 for this case. We've run over that second level, and we can see level 2. That's going to call up that that map instance here that is showing this level of detail, for instance. So that's all that's doing, is it's saying, okay, for a moment here, we can see level 2. It's going to call up, you're going to be able to see this level of detail inside that map. But the other thing here is, you'll notice that this little tricky area here is the image transport. So in the designer buttons here, I've called this image transport 1. So this is the button that takes you transports you. This is the next brush that transports you. And back in the graph, you may not want to have those visible in every single level. So this is a way of turning those buttons off in various levels. This may not be the most ideal setup. You may have other ideas here, but it's just using a simple integer. So if I'm unlocking, say, level 2, for instance, then it's just saying this brush is not visible on options 0 through 2 and only becomes visible on option 3. This is not visible on option 0 and 1 and only becomes visualized on option 2 and 3. So you can add more pins, you can take them away, you can just add another one down here and have a new target here and make them visible and not visible. This is probably something that you want to play around with, a little bit of trial and error, but that's essentially how it works. It all flows from that save game object and what the player can see. And again, here you can see that these are set to the different materials that get revealed. And again, this is an instance of the original material, which is here, and this is just a custom map, custom mask that's plugged in. So you can get creative here and change these all around and whatnot. Yeah, so essentially that's how this all works, and this is the area where you're really going to expand and make it unique for your game. Anyways, I think that's all for this tutorial, and thank you very much.